Hi, this is Nate and this is my first video talking about what it's like to be a med student here in Latin America, and I'm going to share some thoughts on hostel culture, what it is, how did I find it, and some other things related to that topic. So let's begin with the idea that made me film this video, which is what do you want to do in life? And yes, I've been asked this question way too much back then when I was 17 years old, and I felt pretty uncomfortable because I used to believe that when you become a certain age, like 18 years old, 19 years old, you have to choose one single thing and do it repeatedly for the rest of your life, which is a mindset that can work with some people, but for me, it just didn't fit at all. I didn't buy with the idea of choosing one single thing because I had a lot of interest, and I still have a lot of interest because I have this career, which is medicine. I'm interested in computers and science and on and on and on. And I did not accept the idea of, you have a lot of interest and you might try some of them while you are growing up, until I got to know pretty interesting people, influencers like Ali Abdul and Thomas Frank and others like that. And the more I consumed those videos and content in general, the more I became more confident to talk about those topics publicly with my friends and family. And the more I got convinced that, yeah, you can do whatever you want and nothing bad will happen to you because this is just a play, this is just a game. And yes, this is my current belief that you can go to college or not, and in both cases you can try different interests and experiment with all of these ideas. And let's see what happens. So you have this side hustle, which is the idea of creating a business or doing a hobby that may earn you some money in your free time. So as you do this in your free time and you're not relaxing or doing something calm and chill, this is why it is called the hustle culture or the side hustle thing. And then I thought, I have this idea, I am not taking it as seriously as other people do, because you can have this side hustle, but you can take it as a hobby. Other people just take it as a business, and as you take it as a business, let's say that you have a YouTube channel, you're more worried about sponsors and views and likes and profit and all of that stuff. Whether that if you just take it for the only sake of doing the thing, I think that it is more manageable in terms of mental health, because you don't have like this pressure, you are just doing it because you're having fun. Or you can take it seriously, but it depends on the person. And it wouldn't be a problem to have this idea, but this idea caught me when I was getting into med school. And you know that medicine is so well known to be demanding and expensive and hard and challenging, because you have all of these lessons and all of this pressure and all of this stress es el pan de cada día, as people of my country would say. So I had a lot of doubts because I felt like I wasn't enough. But at that time, I remember that I was reading about growth mindset, which is the idea that you can do whatever you want, but the only thing that you have to do is to put more effort on it and to do it in a very effective way as you grow. Whether that is a project that you're building, a business that you're making, a career that you're trying to get into and get used to and try to get grades, all of those things are just manageable if you believe that the only thing that you have to do is to put more effort. And finally, I chose medicine. In Latin America, you have this intensive pre-training where you learn about basic sciences that are related to medicine, which is morphophysiology and biochemistry, where you go from the nature of the bones to the different muscle tissues to the digestive system, the nervous system, the circulatory system, and yada yada yada. I had this neurosurgeon as my professor that motivated me keep studying medicine because, well, sometimes I did well, sometimes I did bad, but he noticed that I've always wanted to put my best at every single thing that I did. So the final test, where I studied way too much, I studied with all of the study techniques that I knew, I applied all of them, I got good grades, and he just congratulated me personally, which is something that I really appreciated. This is part of the extrinsic value that you put to something when you work on that thing so hard. There's, the extrinsic value and intrinsic value, and intrinsic value is the thing that you do something for the sake of doing it because you have passion over it. And yes, let's talk about the struggles that I have at studying medicine here. Traveling to another city regularly is very common here to get to college because we live in a very small country, and yes, there's consequences with that. I would start my classes at 7 a.m. and would finish at 7 p.m. So I would travel to college at 4 a.m. and would travel back home at 8 p.m., sometimes 9 p.m. because there's traffic. There was simply no time for me to just relax. And apart from that, the worst thing about this situation is the insecurity. You simply don't know what will happen. You have to take care of yourself. You have to know the routes. You have to know the X destination that you need to travel. And even with that, you are not sure of what will happen. So if you can afford it, you can go and find an apartment close to the college. The con of this is that everything is just more expensive. Even common items that we can find in our hometowns like tomatoes and onions and fruits and all that kind of stuff. So it is normal here to bring our food to make our meals to spend less money. One of the consequences that I have like getting up early and getting to sleep late, sleep deprivation, I just feel more irritated, I felt more stressed out, I just felt burned out because I just couldn't consolidate all of the information that I had to learn, and I had to read all of that stuff and make sure that I really understand the topic, and it took me way too much. So I started to just learn more about the study methods that are related to spaced repetition and active recall and associations and all that in order to have more time to rest. And yes, I created even a very strict schedule to study because really I didn't have any time to spend. So yeah, being a med student here in Latin America is so tough, especially in terms of time management and security. But there is no difference in other things that you might compare with other countries, which is the education, the lectures, the great quality of the content that you are given. You get as much pressure as you would get in the United States, as you would get in the UK, as you would get in any other part, just to get you disciplined enough to the stuff that you have to study and you have to do as a med student. I learned really important things with this experience. First thing is that time is important and you have to be very strict with the things that you are responsible to get done, because if you don't, probably you won't have time for other important things in your life, such as hanging out with your friends, being with your family, working on a project, which is the thing that I mentioned just early in the video. Second thing is that effectiveness is key, and experimenting with all of the methods of productivity and time management is just a good use of your time. Be aware that everything in the beginning is going to be tough, whether that is learning a new topic, learning a new skill. There's nothing in the world of productivity that's going to prevent you from having this hard time learning something new, because you gotta get used to that. You gotta put more effort, you gotta improve little by little, day by day. And the third thing is that sleep is very essential for your life, not only for your mental health, but for your productivity as well, for your mood, for your mental placement, for everything. There's a lot of articles and books out there that you can read about sleep. This is just the best advice that I can give you on this video. And if you like this video, please give me some thumbs and see you next time.